The chilling footage you just saw is from southern Russia, where a drone targeted an apartment complex. It brought back memories of 9/11, the attack in the US. Thankfully, the damage was not too much. Russia blames Ukraine for this attack. It's a kamikaze-style assault, and Moscow is responding with full force. Today, Russia targeted Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine, with a wave of drones and missiles. The bombing operation began at midnight and it continued well past daybreak. Thousands of Ukrainians fled to metro stations. They double up as bomb shelters, so people flock to these metro stations when there's bombing. And as Russia continued its strikes, many Ukrainians were heard singing their national anthem. Russia targeted not just Kyiv. Bombs and missiles flew in all directions. Kyiv said 15 Ukrainian regions were hit, and Russia also went after their civilian infrastructure like water and electricity supplies in Ukraine. "100 drones and more than 100 missiles were fired from the Russian side. At least 5 people were killed. There were blackouts in some regions in Ukraine, but Kyiv says it was able to defend large parts of its territories. However, Russia is not done yet. It has ruled out peace talks and it seems to be preparing for a bigger military response.
There were no negotiations. As you know, the topic of negotiations at the moment has pretty much lost its relevance. There are a lot of reports about various contacts in the media, and not all of them are correct. It is not about a separate decision. Such hostile actions cannot remain without an appropriate response. There will definitely be a response.
So Russia is promising payback for Kursk. That's the region Ukraine invaded 3 weeks ago. It's Russian territory, and Ukraine controls almost 1,300 square kilometers of it now, 1,300 square kilometers. That's more land than Russia has been able to capture over the past 8 months in Ukraine. Ukraine also has managed to destroy several bridges in the region. This has affected the Russian forces on the battlefield. The frontline troops remain cut off from their bases. And this has emboldened Ukrainian forces. They've made steady advances into Russia and launched more ambitious attacks, like the drone strike we saw earlier. So Russia is now trying to turn the tables. They're trying to shift the momentum of the battlefield by putting pressure on Kyiv through an extensive bombing operation. Meanwhile, Zelensky is asking his Western backers to step up.
Putin does stick to his style. He is a sick creature that has been obvious for a long time. But it is also clear that he can only do what the world allows him to do. Weakness, lack of decisions fuels terror.
Zelensky wants the West to honor their commitments and provide Kyiv with more air defenses and missiles. More importantly, he wants timely deliveries. Kyiv is under attack, but it also sees this as an opportunity. An opportunity to push the West to extract more concessions. Ukraine's foreign minister has floated 2 demands. He wants the West to permit long-range strikes inside Russia using Western weapons. Remember, this has been a long-standing request. The West has given billions of dollars worth of weapons to Ukraine, but it also dictates how these weapons should be used. Ukraine is not allowed to conduct long-range strikes on Russia. But they want this restriction to be lifted now. That's the first demand. The second demand is about air defenses. Ukraine wants its Western partners to step up to help protect its skies. It wants the West to shoot down Russian missiles and drones when they get close to Ukraine's airspace. It wants the West to repel aerial attacks on Ukraine. Now, these demands suggest a shift in Kyiv's approach. Earlier, its forces had a defensive posture. The goals were limited to defending their territory and reclaiming lands occupied by the Russians. But that's no longer the case. Zelensky is seeking leverage now. Over the weekend, Ukraine and Russia exchanged more than 200 prisoners of war. Ukraine had captured more than 100 Russian soldiers in Kursk, and it traded those soldiers for Ukrainian troops in Russian custody. So soldiers for soldiers. Zelensky wants to do the same to regain Ukrainian territories, and that means taking the fight deeper inside Russia.
And since Putin is occupying us and does not think about his territories, we understand perfectly well that this is exactly the case, because we know the air defense in Russia. We were striking at their energy sector after they hit our energy sector. We hit their military airports, and we know where they have air defense and where they do not. Everything has been checked.
It's a risky strategy. Until last week, it was showing results. But can Kyiv stay the course now? Can it keep fighting Russian soldiers in Kursk at a time when Russia is dropping more than 100 bombs on Ukrainians? Kyiv's resilience will be tested in the coming days.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies